There are some question marks on exactly where we could see the greatest severe parameters set up. And another thing that makes this a more complex forecast is the fact that we're not just seeing one line that's going to move across. We're probably going to have a couple of waves of storms that we need to watch out for. One comes in the afternoon, another late tomorrow night, and that's when we could see the risk a little bit further south by that point once that secondary round starts to materialize. But one thing's for certain, we're going to have some gusty wind, some heavy rainfall. We're going from a very warm environment. It's very warm for this time of the year, especially you don't like to see 70s in January, and then we're going to go back to some more seasonal temperatures here later on in the week. So with that sort of transition, you are going to have quite a shakeup in the weather, and that's going to come tomorrow, again, late in the day and tomorrow night. Let's get into it. What you're looking at here, this is the severe weather outlook from the Nation's Storm Prediction Center, and they have placed an enhanced risk of severe weather as far north as Shelby, parts of Jefferson and Tuscaloosa County, but we were seeing this sort of risk to the west. There's only been one tornado so far today on the storm reports map, so that just kind of gives you an idea. There's some question marks here. Having said that, if things phase up, this is the kind of environment that could produce a tornado, so we need to be alert tomorrow afternoon just in case those conditions do grow favorable in the afternoon for a tornado. If you live in a mobile home and a watch is issued, take that as kind of an early notice to make sure you have a plan or you're close to some location. If a warning is issued, you have a place to go just to enact those severe weather preparation plans for tomorrow. I know it's January, but yeah, you can have severe weather. We've had plenty of active severe weather events this time of the year, and one of the keys, again, that instability that certainly has made a return here across Alabama. Been talking with Lauren, the team here. We really think that the peak ingredients for more significant tornadoes could set up down in South Alabama as the day goes on tomorrow, and especially tomorrow night. For us, though, notice the slight risk includes areas to the north, and one thing I just want to point out here is no matter where you're at in our coverage area, I wouldn't focus too much on these colors. I would just know that anywhere the potential is there for a severe storm afternoon. Some of those could produce some damaging winds, and there's the threat for an isolated tornado. Further south you go, yeah, the chances may go up a little bit. However, hopefully the storms in the afternoon may try to kind of weaken what happens into the evening. I certainly don't see a major tornado outbreak here, but it is one where you could have one or two storms that could certainly be quite significant. So we'll need to watch for those ingredients there later in the day. Timing-wise, it does get kind of interesting here because notice we have 11 a.m. to 6 o'clock for far western areas. So by 6:30, 7 o'clock, threat over here for some of these areas to the west. Birmingham points south down into Shelby and Chilton counties at 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 9 o'clock. That's because we may see those storms start to ramp up to the far south again later on tomorrow night. And also notice 3 o'clock to 2 a.m. again, certainly could see some storms afternoon here for these eastern, far southeastern areas, but then late by midnight tomorrow night, we could see a secondary surge of storms that try to develop. This is just one of the models here, some of the guidance, but shows us where that greatest combination of wind shear instability is located for tomorrow. And notice starting around lunchtime, you can see those ingredients ramp up across the entire area. But if we do get a cluster of storms to the south that cuts off that inflow from the Gulf of Mexico, that low-level jet kind of gets cut off, that could limit what happens further north. I do think as the night goes on, especially north of places like Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, and Anniston, near and north of I-20, the main concern, straight line wind gusts for late tomorrow night. Further south, though, you can see there's 11 o'clock tomorrow night, and this is an area we'll also have to closely watch here. I know not too long ago, we had that overnight tornado warning, had that severe weather around the Montgomery area. If you're watching me here around places like Fort Deposit, Greenville, area south towards Troy, Ozark, Andalusia, down around Enterprise, this is where the high-octane air is going to be located late tomorrow night, 11 o'clock to midnight. And you can see there 1 a.m. on Wednesday. That's another dangerous setup there. You want to make sure you have multiple ways to get those alerts while you try to rest there during the overnight. A loud weather radio, something that can sound an audible tone to alert you and help spread the word. Text friends, family, loved ones, let everyone know that there is a severe risk for tomorrow tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow during the overnight, especially for those areas to the south. I think for most of the WBRC Fox 6 coverage area by 8 o'clock, it's just mostly rain and still maybe a few storms out there, but that severe risk will start to drop off there for most of our area, with the exception, again, those far south zones we'll be watching for late tomorrow night. Damaging winds, isolated tornadoes, that is the threat. Now, no tornadoes right now, although we are tracking some isolated pockets of rain. You can see to the south there in Pickens County, south of Aliceville, around Pickensville, a downpour. But we've seen a nice little stream of these scattered showers from near Rockford, tracking to the north there, right there along the Highway 77 corridor here in East Alabama. A few of these showers again now moving north into Pickens County, but there will be more of these isolated showers and storms at Gulf of Mexico opening up. We're getting that south flow that's going to become quite gusty tonight, and that should help to mix out the fog. So I know fog was an issue last night. Maybe some of the sheltered, protected valleys, there could be some visibility issues later on tonight. But we're counting on that wind to play a role tonight to help to mix some of that fog out of the air. Notice we got some lightning here. We do have a storm that's over Cherokee County. See that? A few lightning strikes. That's far northern Cherokee County, north of center, and that's moving up towards Fort Payne. So you're probably going to hear a rumble of thunder out there tonight. We can't rule out an isolated storm. It is warm. It is soupy for this time of the year. That tornado watch that you see, by the way, that is, notice, DeSoto Parish. That's way over into Louisiana. That's where we're tracking that active weather right now that's been happening. Notice Sylacauga, a few showers there moving to the north, and you can see around Birmingham, not seeing quite as much right now as far as rainfall goes. Again, looking back to the west, you can see there's the tornado watch, and look at all these tornado warnings now. Actually, well, there was one there. Anytime you see the polygon, see it goes to purple, that is a confirmed tornado, but that is right there around Farmerville in Jonesboro over in northern Louisiana. That's Jonesboro, Louisiana there north of Monroe. A little shower I mentioned a few moments ago. You can see, let's go in for a close-up here. May get a rumble of thunder. Yep, got a little bit of lightning there. So a little storm now that's tracking north around Clark and Cochran over Pickens County. This is non-severe, but again, a few rumbles possible. That's moving towards Carrollton, Aliceville, and Ethelsville. They're tracking to the north. So the chance for scattered storms is there. Here's a look at the forecast for this evening, and you can see there the chance through 11 o'clock for a few isolated storms as those temperatures take the tumble into the 60s. Coming up next, meteorologist Lauren Linehan breaks down the 7-day forecast for us. Looks like some cooler air that we'll be talking about for later on in the week. Of course, more on that severe weather threat for tomorrow. We'll be watching. That's the next big thing that we are tracking as we continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra.
Adopt an angel and help a child in need.
We're making it easy this holiday season for you to give back through the WBRC Fox 6 News Gifts for Kids Salvation Army Angel Tree program.
There are many ways you can adopt an angel now through December 5th.
In person at the outlet shops at Grand River or the River Chase Galleria.
Online at BirminghamSalvationArmy.org.
At participating Chick-fil-A Stuff the Bus location.
Or the Walmart online registry.
For more information, visit WBRC.com and our WBRC News app.
Donate today.
The Birmingham Waterworks story is one we've been on for years and breaking some stories lately that are getting some results. Starting with the Waterworks Board deciding they may not raise your rates as much as they had first thought because of pushback from ratepayers based on our reporting. And then with the attention we brought to this, the Attorney General's office is stepping in, demanding hundreds of pages of documents before the utility does anything about raising your rates. We've been on your side on this story. We'll stay on your side. You stay with us on our WBRC News app.
Every storm has a story, where it came from, where it's going, and the lives impacted in between. Where our story begins is with your First Alert, warning you well ahead of time so the chapter in between isn't filled with surprises. The largest team on your side, dedicated to telling the story that starts and ends with you. This is why we First Alert.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. So we want to give you a quick look at that 7-day forecast. Obviously, tomorrow is when we're going to be seeing that stormy weather coming in. So we do have a first alert for the potential for some strong to severe storms, particularly during the afternoon and evening hours. But I promise, once we get past tomorrow, it actually looks quieter for the rest of the week. You notice by Friday, we have a first alert for it actually being cooler again. And we could be seeing some spots on Friday getting near freezing. Certainly not out of the question that it could be a frosty start to the end of the week. But right now, not feeling so frosty. Instead, let's take a check on those current temperatures across our area. So most of us are sitting very warm and muggy. And as we look at our first alert AccuTrack right now, some showers have been moving through. You'll notice these showers east of I-65 that have been pushing it from Alexander City towards Ashland, Anniston, up towards Jacksonville and Gadsden. Now, there hasn't been a ton of lightning on these. You can see our lightning tracker isn't even checking any out with this shower that is just about to be lifting north of I-20. We are seeing a little bit of lightning on this storm lifting north of center, but all in all, nothing too concerning right now. These are just kind of some run-of-the-mill thunder showers, one moving into Pickens County near Aliceville. So over the next 60 minutes, this activity will continue to push north and eastward across our area, but for the next few hours, we're talking just some isolated thunder showers. But these temperatures, again, it's a little soupy outside, upper 60s, low 70s, and just compared to this time yesterday, we're already running about 5 to 10 degrees warmer. So we are setting the stage for those strong to severe storms. So right now, like we said, activity, not much going on right now. That will change by this time tomorrow. And here is that storm system we're tracking. Notice the yellow here. That is a tornado watch that's in effect across parts of the Midwest and Mid-South. And this is the storm system that's going to be headed our way. Our next big thing tomorrow that is going to be bringing that potential for some strong to severe storms during the afternoon and evening. So you know this already, but you got to make sure you have that NOAA weather radio set to receive alerts and have multiple ways to receive alerts, like of course the WBRC First Alert weather app. Now, we're hoping most of this comes in during the afternoon, but we're likely still going to see at least some wet weather around going into tomorrow evening. So you got to make sure those mobile devices are charged. Even if you have some of those wireless chargers, which are always handy to have these days, those need to be charged as well. And if you're like me, haven't put up any of your Christmas decorations yet, if you have any of those inflatables outside, you want to secure your loose items. So we'll be keeping you updated on that, but let's kind of take a more in-depth look at those severe ingredients that we're going to be looking at tomorrow. So two of the ingredients that we look at when we're forecasting severe weather is wind shear and instability. That's storm fuel, as Wes was saying, that high octane air. So when is it going to line up to bring us that severe threat for tomorrow? Well, here we are tonight. You can see it's lined up to the west of us, and that's where that severe threat is ongoing now. But as we get into the overnight hours, this is gradually going to be migrating eastward. Now, of course, you go into the overnight hours, you lose that daytime heating, but we get into tomorrow. Here we are at 12 o'clock. Notice the yellow, the oranges here, that begins to lift northward. That's that warm, humid air coming in from the Gulf of Mexico that can help to fuel that storm threat. And if that does line up with the higher wind shear in the atmosphere, wind shear being the change in wind direction or speed as you go up in height, that can cause that twisting in the air. And so you've got the storm fuel, you've got that wind shear in place. That's certainly what we're going to be watching tomorrow afternoon. The question is, as we go into the evening hours, would we still be able to see a severe threat areas north? Right now, it looks like the better chance for nighttime storms would be across the southern half of the state, where it looks like more of that high octane air, that storm fuel is going to be around, and then things clearing out as we get into Wednesday morning. So our main concerns are going to be damaging winds, a few tornadoes. This is not shaping up to be an outbreak by any means, but certainly it just takes one storm to cause damage for someone, right? And we could see some large hail and flooding, but this is going to be more localized, not as much of a threat as the potential for damaging winds and tornadoes. So as we look at the next 24 hours, like I said, going to be quiet for tonight, but here we go into tomorrow morning, some scattered showers possible. And then it's once we get past 11 o'clock that we begin to see some of these stronger storms coming in. That lines up with when that instability from the Gulf of Mexico lifts farther northward, and that's when you could see some storms firing up that could have that severe potential. So you certainly want to make sure you're paying attention to the weather tomorrow night. There could be a brief little lull in the storms before more come in. So our question is this: the severe weather threat
is conditional, because if we have a lot of rain and storms come in earlier in the day, that could help to stabilize the atmosphere a little bit. And then maybe going into the evening hours, a lot of these storms that would come through across North Alabama wouldn't quite have the same oomph to them as the ones farther south. So I think for a lot of us, that severe threat will be over with once the time you go to bed tomorrow night. That's what we're hoping. But if you live across the southern half of Alabama, closer towards areas like Montgomery, Dothan, Mobile, you certainly need to be keeping an eye on these storms going into the nighttime hours. But hey, here we are Wednesday morning. Should be able to sound all clear, and it may finally begin to actually feel like winter, as winter should feel in January in the deep south. But as far as rainfall, like I said, major flooding is not a concern, but we could see some localized flooding, at least a good inch of rain possible with these storms coming through, locally higher amounts possible. And then we really begin to dry out. That rain chance for Wednesday is just for the early morning hours, and then looking much drier as we head at least into the first half of the weekend. So looking at that 7-day forecast, here we go Friday with that cooler air coming in. Now Saturday looks dry for now, but we do have a first alert for some showers on Sunday as a little disturbance passes through. So we'll be keeping an eye out on that. But really the only severe weather threat we're seeing is going to be this one tomorrow. So before you go to bed tonight, make sure you go over that severe weather safety plan. We of course always hope for the best, but prepare for the worst, right? And if you have storm anxiety, the best thing you can do for your anxiety is remember what is in your control. So be prepared, not scared. We'll take a final look at that 7-day forecast coming up after the break.
If your shower or bath looks like this, it's time for an upgrade. Hey everybody, Joe here with BJ Worzen, owner of West Shore Home, to talk about how West Shore is evolving the customer experience to provide seamless remodeling projects to homeowners all across America. BJ.
Joe, we know a lot of people are looking to knock out some remodeling projects before the holidays get here, but the busyness of those holidays can really slow down those plans. So I want to let everybody know they can get those projects done right now, and it won't be a big disruption to their life.
Well, BJ, how are you doing that?
So everything we do is designed to be fast, easy, and convenient for our customers. And it all starts with that initial call. Pick up the phone and call the number on the screen right now. It'll be answered by a live representative. They'll be able to answer all your questions about the shower bath project, but more importantly, find a time to have one of our design consultants come out to the home for that free in-home consultation. We even do evening and Saturday appointments to make it most convenient for the homeowner.
In that design consultation, that's where the homeowner chooses the styles and options to create a bath space that they're really going to love.
Right, we'll bring out one of these and let them design the bath of their dreams. If they want to move forward, we have multiple financing options designed to fit any family's budget. And the best part is we have instant credit decisioning.
So no waiting, they'll know on the spot whether they're approved. Okay, how about financing offers? Do you have something special for us today?
We have something really special right now that we're doing just for the holiday season. It's going to be 18 months with no payments and no interest. That means you don't have to make a payment on this project until after next holiday season. And for a limited time, we're going to do free installation on all shower and bath projects.
Again, no worries about making a single payment until 18 months after the project is installed. That's incredible. BJ, thanks so much, folks. Shower and bath remodeling has never been easier. Call West Shore Home now and take advantage of this great offer. West Shore Home is extending this offer for 1 week only. Call in now to get 18 months of no payments and no interest financing. Plus, you heard BJ, for a limited time, West Shore Home is doing free installation on all shower and bath projects. This is an offer you do not want to miss. Call West Shore Home now.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. We'll take one final look at that 7-day forecast before we send you off to get some dinner on your Monday, the first Monday of 2023. Still have a first alert for some storms tomorrow, and it's one of those days that we're just going to go ahead and slap a 100% chance of rain on the forecast. That's how confident we are about rain and storms. Of course, we want to be mindful, giving you that first alert for severe threat tomorrow afternoon and evening. During the nighttime hours, it looks like across the southern half of Alabama, that's where that better threat for potentially some tornadoes would be. So if you have any friends or family who live in the southern half of the state, call them, give them a text, make sure that they do also have that first alert. You can give it to them, make sure they're paying attention to the weather for tomorrow. It's not to say we couldn't see that here, but it looks like primarily afternoon and evening for us here in central Alabama. And then any rain will be out of here by Wednesday morning. Temperatures going from the 70s tomorrow, that warm, soupy air, back into the 60s on Wednesday and falling. So Thursday getting cooler again, highs back in the 50s. Friday looks to be one of our coolest days in the 7-day forecast, where we have first alert for the possibility of frost, if not some freezing temperatures again on Friday. Nothing like what we saw over Christmas though. So
an improvement, at least kind of more like what we would expect in January here in the deep south. And then as far as your weekend forecast, right now we're turning drier on Saturday. There could be some clouds around, but we have seen the signs that a disturbance could come through on Sunday. A disturbance in the atmosphere just means it brings the possibility of rain and storms. The weather's going to be a little bit more unsettled. So this one in particular, I think could just bring a few showers around on Sunday and then looking dry to start next week. But check back in with Wes and I tonight on First at 9 for an update on that severe threat for tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe and happy Monday evening.